This practice is brought to you by Shanthi Project, a 501c3 educational nonprofit teaching social emotional resiliency through the practice of mindfulness. This is a practice on turning sounds into a mindful moment. When we bring mindfulness to irritating sounds, we shift our relationship from aversion to curiosity, allowing the sounds to rise and fall, lessening their negative impact. So let's begin by finding a comfortable position to sit. Taking the next few moments to just find a posture for you that gives you a sense of comfort yet wakefulness. The same time becoming mindful of various movements that you need to make to come into this posture. As you're doing this, beginning to become aware of how this body is just naturally breathing, taking a few moments to notice where you're aware of the breath most predominantly. This may be the tip of your nose, or the chest, or the belly. Just noticing where the sense of breathing seems to be the strongest in this moment. You may have your eyes closed, or you may have a soft gaze, just allowing your attention to come into the breath, into the body. As you become aware of this, breathing in and the breath coming out as it's happening moment to moment. Being aware of the breath in and the breath going out on the exhalation. Just being aware of this simple inflow and outflow. And just letting it be. Breathing in and breathing out. Just taking this part of the practice one breath at a time. In doing this practice, it's quite natural for the mind to wander off, thinking about this, worrying about that. You could begin to focus on a memory or a dream. When this happens, just take a moment to notice where the mind has wandered to. Maybe even labeling it as thinking, and very gently, with the lightest bit of touch, guiding your awareness back to just breathing in and breathing out. Noticing again where the breath is happening most predominantly in your body. And going back to the natural inflow and outflow, without any need to push the breath out or pull the breath in. We're simply being aware of breathing, much like a fallen leaf can sit on the ripples of waves, or maybe the inflow and the outflow of waves coming onto the beach and off of the beach. So too, our awareness can simply ride the natural inhalation and exhalation of the breath. And so now just allowing the breath to go into the background of our awareness as we begin to shift our attention to include this entire body. Now we're just being aware of sensations in the body. This body has a field of sensations that are occurring at any given point, appearing and disappearing, coming and going. There may be sensations of heat or coolness, shakiness, itchiness, tingling, pressure, pulses, heaviness, or lightness. There may even be parts of the body that feel pain or discomfort. As much as possible, holding this body in awareness and just being aware of the variety of sensations that seem to be coming and going, and just allowing and letting be, and bringing the mind back when it wanders with the gentlest of touch, allowing the mind to be welcomed back to the breath in and the breath out. As we're paying attention to sensations in the body, we might even adopt an attitude of curiosity or beginner's mind, becoming aware of these feelings that are here as if for the very first time. And in doing this practice, we may even notice emotions arise, at times a sense of frustration or irritation, a sense of boredom, maybe anxiousness, or maybe there's calm. So being aware of where these experiences are in the body. And again, just being aware of them without striving or trying to change them or make them any different. Just allow their presence to be what it is. Now begin to gently shift from the field of sensations in the body and allowing that to fall into the background of awareness. And now in the foreground of awareness, we begin to open our ears as we become aware of hearing. Because of the brain and the ears, we have this gift of audibility, of hearing sounds. Sounds come in the form of pitches or tones, sometimes frequencies of sounds. Even in my voice right here, you may notice that as sounds come from a sense of silence, and then has a picture tone, and rises, and then falls, and then goes back into silence. You may have noticed, even in between the silences, there's some sounds. So just being aware of this very fundamental aspect of hearing sounds, rising sounds, falling sounds, taking a moment to see if you're trying to hear sounds. Are you striving? And can you let it just be, whatever is happening around you with sound? Just allowing the pure sense of just being aware of whatever hearing is occurring. Just allowing yourself to be in a receptive place of hearing whatever sounds are happening. Recognizing, allowing, and letting be. And in doing this practice, you may become aware of how the mind becomes busy with images or stories connected with the sounds. As much as possible, just noticing this and just coming back to being aware of hearing. Noticing how sounds appear and then disappear. I'm beginning to withdraw awareness now from hearing as we come back to breathing. Noticing the breath in, noticing the breath out. In a moment, you'll hear the sound of two bells touching together, and that will signify the end of this practice. Until then, just acknowledging the active choice of taking this time out of all of our busy days for our own health and well-being, knowing that this is an act of cultivating awareness, and it is also an act of self-care. So taking the time to thank yourself for practicing today. Let's go ahead and take another breath in and a very gentle breath out. When you feel ready, if your eyes were closed, just slowly opening the eyes or allowing your gaze to just remain soft, taking in the room around you. And when you're ready, just moving on with the rest of your day. Thank you for practicing with me today.